Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 125 in the Gospel of John. Today's going to be about artillery at a distance. Now, this is going to be from John chapter 16, and it's not my favorite passage in the Bible, but it's close. But it is absolutely my favorite Bible passage discovery. When I discovered this passage 10 or 20 years ago, it blew my mind, and it continues to blow my mind today. And maybe today, if you'll let it, it'll blow your mind. So I couldn't believe this, literally. And I'd like, just in general, this is a general comment, I would love for you to enter into Bible exploration and ask the question, are you putting yourself on the path of discovery, Bible discovery? You should have your own favorite discovery passage, as this one is for me. And I'd even say, how do you discover stuff in the Bible? Well, it involves doing the right thing with your eyes and the right thing with your mind. So there's like this posture, a readiness for discovery is how I would describe it. So this passage is in the context of the Last Supper, the last moments. The disciples are pretty shook up, and Jesus promises tough times ahead for himself, but also for them. He just got done saying, you know, people are going to hunt you down and kill you for this worldview. So here's the passage. I'm going to start in John chapter 16. I'm going to start in verse 6. But because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your heart. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. This is the passage. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the helper will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. So, sitting where the disciples are sitting at this moment in time, they're finally, a light bulb seems to be going on, basically, because he says, sorrow has filled your heart. And that's good. It should. Jesus is going to be crucified in just a number of hours, and he's told them so. So it kind of tells us that he's paying attention, which you like. And the gravity of this situation is apparent. So nevertheless, yet, but, then he transitions. This whole thing pivots. I tell you the truth. So this is not an optional statement. This is not kind of take it or leave it. The one who cannot tell a lie is telling them a spiritual reality that is absolutely 100% true. And here it is. It is to your advantage that I go away. So just pause here for a second, and I'm talking, what would you give to spend 5 minutes, earth minutes with Jesus? You'd probably give your right arm. And I was teaching this passage one day, and I kind of used that illustration to say we would just, give our right arm to have some precious moments with Jesus. And one of the guys who heard this, he said, of course I would give my right arm, because then he could put it back on for me. So here we are. We'd give anything to literally be with the Lord for just a few minutes. And he says to the disciples who he's currently with, it's better if I go away. It's for your good that I go away. It's to your advantage that I leave. It's better for you that I'm gone. It's greater profit to you that I leave. So let's break this down. There's two parts of this. There's Jesus changing locales, and that it somehow benefits in an advantageous way. So first of all, where does Jesus go? He goes to heaven, right hand of the Father, in a real physical / spiritual body that ascends off the planet after the resurrection. We'll study that eventually after the crucifixion. So what is he doing? Well, there's something that's a benefit to me that's happening at this other location. And here's my thought. This is from Romans chapter 8, verse 32. So what's Jesus up to? At least one of the things he's up to, it says, who is to condemn? Jesus Christ is the one who died. More than that, who was raised, who is at the right hand of the Father, who is indeed interceding for us. So Jesus, he's living there. He's busy interceding for us. Now, I want to use the illustration here about artillery. So listening to analysis recently of the Russian-Ukrainian war, and a military expert said that despite all the back and forth little victories that's happening, that Russia was going to win the war eventually. And why was that? One reason, and that is because they had better artillery. So 70% of military casualties are not from drones, not from bullets, but they're from artillery. That's how most people, soldiers in war, die, is from artillery. So what is artillery? Artillery is a weapon that's used with effect from a distance. So similarly, and I hope Jesus doesn't take offense at this, Jesus is the spiritual person, the Godhead, who exerts an effect at a distance by interceding. Interceding for who? For us, for our benefit. So not only do we have this benefit at a distance, this artillery at a distance, Jesus, there's also a new force that's local that is brought to bear. And this is, Jesus is introducing this as well, which is the presence of the Trinity. And he comes, it becomes universally local, available here, the Holy Spirit, the helper. And we have this helper which comes to assist locally. So we're needful people with temptation and anger, greed, sloth, gossip, the one another's. So might you need some artillery at a distance to help you? Absolutely. Might you need some help locally? Yes. So God has thought this through, and he's thought this through to your profit. So I suggest you cooperate. I cooperate with this. It's not like when you get a podcast, all your holiness has been achieved. All right. So in conclusion, first of all, what a great verse. It's to your advantage that I go. It just blows my mind. How could that possibly be? Well, I think in thinking about it two ways, because I think we get the interceding from Jesus, the artillery from Jesus at a distance. And then secondly, we get his local help with the Holy Spirit where we are. So welcome to Belize. Thanks for listening.